Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bruh. Hello, 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 hello. Yo, what's up? What's up with my audio? Why isn't it going through? Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear me? Where does the S Pengo go? Wait, can you hear me? Fuck. Say I can hear you if you can hear me. Not sure how this works. All right, easy. Just gonna use FigJam for this. All right. System design into V1. Design Tinder. Okay, so we're gonna be designing the minimally scoped out Tinder, MVP of Tinder. And before we even get into it, I'd probably ask like who the users are. And single people looking to date. Swipe left and right to make a match. If match from both sides, create a chat, send notification. All right, let's see what these people say. You can create a profile, far out. Create a profile, stack of potential matches. All right, I got that. And notification if they swipe. Okay, cool. Scale of the system, 20 million users a day. What the hell? What is going on? All right, spend 3 minutes on non-functional requirements. So the ones that we're going to focus on are one, consistency, availability. If things are late, I don't think we really care about them. I'm just going to do it on a separate page because a real interview is different to this. So non-functional requirements we care about. App needs to be very available. If you lose a few matches, do we really care? You need good UX, but all right, let's just talk to this thing. How does this work? What is this even asking? Far out. So back of the envelope calculations here. What are they? 20 million daily active users, burst usage, I don't know, 1 million per at once, swiping in that peak hour. At nighttime, probably no one's swiping, so night, security, compliance. Not really a big issue here. We'll assume most of our stuff is secure and authenticated. Basic stuff. It's gonna be super read heavy and write heavy actually, because you're constantly making a request on every profile you see. You're either swiping left or right. We can probably do some sharding on region. What the hell is it looking for? Far out. All right, how do you answer this? All right, fuck. Okay. Next, we're gonna do core entities. Okay, this is where I cooked it in the mock. I just skipped this section entirely. So you have a basic thing. We'll derive this from functional requirements. So first thing is people are creating profiles. And profile has preferences, age range, interests. And we'll do this in parallel API. Using REST verbs. So need to be able to create a profile. So post profile me. Far out. And this will basically return like either 200 or if there's issues, then 400s, servers down 500, whatever. The body itself is going to contain the relevant information like age range, res, which is just some array. I don't think we might be matching an interest, so some kind of a range. Specify maximum distance. And a bunch of other properties. For this part, I'm gonna ignore that people even have profile pictures. We'll just say like descriptions or whatever, but we'll store it in an arbitrary HTML body. And due to the heavy reads, I think these properties probably are gonna be better suited for NoSQL. To that later. Stack of potential matches in line with their preferences. So we need to be able to fetch all these matches. And some of these properties like distance close to x. And this should return a list of profiles. Probably partial profiles. We don't want to load all the data up front. So we'll go partial profiles, and the stuff that we really want is just like the profile ID. I don't know, other stuff. And the next thing is swiping. So now we get up to the matches part. And this is user 1, user 2. Direction. So we go to a profile by its ID, and we're gonna make a request saying, what the heck, 200 or something else, 400 if it's like you've already swiped on it or something, if server's unavailable. And it's also gonna return, I don't know, is a match. Which is a boolean. And if it is a match, then we should pop up that notification that it's a match, and we set up the chat in the background. And what we sent here is the direction far out. Which is either left or right. So now we have these 3 functional requirements done. So we're saying yes and no instead of left or right. Cool. And the notification part of that's a mutual swipe, and that would just be the response of its match. In this case, the notification will be sent to the other user. For the first user, everything will be set up immediately. So there's only 2 core entities, match, and this is the API. All right, let's feed this into view and get feedback. Okay, so I disagree with this swipe entity. I'm just using match for the direction. External APIs. Yep, agreed with that one. That's a valid point. We do need the location. I've completely missed that. Um, yeah, true. Location, gender, monopoly. We missing that as well. Cool. Now the high level part. So you have your user, and it goes to some kind of a gateway, router, whatever, and it goes to a server, and here's the database. And basically, so the user goes to the router, and this is going to be a profile creation request or profile me. So we make this request, goes to the router, it goes to the server, goes to the database. And within the database, we have the core entity. Oops. Of a profile. And this profile basically contains a bunch of things like your profile ID is going to be created when you first created your account. And let's see. So we had these items here. So when you first create your account, you basically set this stuff, the age range min max. Number. So given the large number of reads and writes we're going to be doing to this object, and the fact that something like this can easily live like in a NoSQL database, it's just a profile. There's not really a lot of relations here, so we don't really care about that. And we can easily add indexes even in a NoSQL database for our interests. And location if we need to. And let's go through the. Okay. Cool. So in order to create a profile and set the preferences, the user will basically call this endpoint, which is going to be a post. And we've already mentioned this in our API section. So we make this post request, it goes to a router and then our servers and then to a NoSQL database in our case, where we're going to store the profiles. And it's going to create the profile there and also set the preferences. So in order to create a profile and set preferences, we'll call this profile me request goes to the router. The router is gonna send it to our server and then go to the NoSQL database, and we'll set this core entity of profile here. Okay, so the thing that I need to say at this point is API gateway does routing, authentication, and rate limiting. I think I missed that last time. Cool. Okay, and then the next part we're gonna do is getting a stack of potential matches. So that's gonna be the next request. Okay, and we'll still send it to the same gateway. So this in our API was to get potential matches with the max distance. So it goes to a router, goes to the, so we'll say this is the profile service. We'll send this to the matchmaking service. And this is going to be a harder problem because we want to be able to query these profiles using their location. So because it's NoSQL, we should be able to actually make a lot of read requests here. Against the location. And the core entity So in order to get a stack of recommendations, we're going to call the matchmaking service, which is going to query the profile DB for everyone around your current profile's latitude and longitude within that max distance. And in order to do this properly, we should also be excluding the profiles that the user's already seen. So we should also be able to filter these profiles later on using the swipe DB. Cool. So if it's location, then we probably need some geospatial indexes or some more optimizations. Okay, cool. Swiping left and right. So we can't be storing all the matches here. We're probably gonna have to store this in a separate database. We need consistent reads here because we need to know instantly if it's a match. And the swipe entity is basically going to be so when you swipe left or right, your request gets routed to a separate service, which is the match service. And this match service will basically add an entry to the swipe DB. And also it will fetch the swipe from the other user, whether they've liked it or not. And if they have, then we will show an in-app notification and also notify the other person.